Hello everybody, thank you all for watching the video. So I hope you're excited as I was for this podcast. Remember, if you are watching the VOD, make sure to check out also the video description because I dropped a few of the links that and names that were dropped during the podcast, so you can check them out and see for yourself. Most important, since this is a photography podcast in this episode of Puppets Dojo, we talk a lot about photography, and of course we show them on in the video as well. But remember, the most important thing is that when it comes to photography, that you take your time to also take a look and describe your own experience, not only take our opinion, so you actually get the most value out of it. So if you're an aspiring photographer, feel free to reach out to us. We're gonna help you with what we can. Otherwise, just enjoy the show, have fun, learning from who Michal is, and also a lot about his work. So thank you very much. Have fun. Like, if Kenzie's the master, you have to be the boss.
Holy shit. Oh, the S-bomb.
All right. So since people are starting to come over, but legit, what name should I even go for? Yeah, you can go for Super Adele. I don't know, Sir Ado. Ado, the interviewer. I don't know, but Sir Diesel is very confusing at times. But you can keep obviously Sir Diesel. It's all fine. It's all fine. I have to get used to that. Anyways, we're not here to help Adele find a better Twitch name than Sir Diesel. We are here to talk about a little bit of esports photography and then later about the LEC. But first, let me introduce you, my guest here. As you probably, if you're already hanging out with us here in the chat, you notice his name is Michal. And this guy is, for me, known as the boss, because if you are ever at the LEC studios and you see a guy with a beard running around with two cameras taking photos of literally everything and anyone, this is your man. And I've said many times, on many occasions, this guy is so talented. He takes a lot of great photos, and I'm very honored to have you here, my friend. So we can learn a bit more about you, your work, and obviously talk a lot about photography. And this is a pleasure. So welcome, my friend.
First of all, thank you for having me. It's a really great honor for me to join you.
Yeah, you said it's your first interview ever.
Yeah, as I told you before, you're kind of popping my interview cherry.
Yeah, how did this happen that I'm the first one interviewing you actually? Because you've been around for like years already. Like nobody ever approached to interview you?
No.
What the hell, man? Guys, what are you doing?
To be really honest, Adele was the first person that wanted to interview me, but well, stuff happened and that did not happen. But we will make it up, Adele, I promise.
All right. So, but before we actually talk about pictures, because we actually selected a few, like with a little bit of help of people on my Discord, and you selecting your favorite shots. We have some pictures to talk about later. However, Michal, how did you actually start? Like, you've been a photographer in esports for 5 years now, but yeah, I guess you started a lot earlier to take photos. Where did it start? What was your first camera and stuff like that?
Whoa.
That's a good question, right?
Oh, that was years ago. My first interest in photography was back in college, I think. Like I'm gonna be dead honest. My first attempts at photography was to obviously pick up girls, because that was the easiest way back then.
So you weren't a wonderful guitar player.
Every girl has her phone and taking better selfies than most of the photographers, as they call themselves. Because sorry, but in my mind, owning a camera doesn't make you a photographer. But that's, sorry, again, besides the point. After that, I started honestly, I had a break. I think a year or two. I just completely left photography.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, it's hard to like even think of myself as being a photographer back then. I just wanted to take photos. I suddenly, like literally suddenly, wanted to take photos, like of everything. I wanted to document like the life that was around me.
Yeah.
That was my main goal back then. My first, first camera. Oh my god, that was a point and shoot, like a Canon, I think, something like that. It was very basic point and shoot. Like after some time with it, I decided that I need to
upgrade.
If I wanted to do something more, be more creative, maybe. Then I really had to like upgrade. Back then, the only option were DSLRs, and so I bought a Nikon D40.
Yo, that's not even actually a bad camera to start.
Camera, by the way, I still have it.
Really? I think it's like the first instrument, the first gear. You never want to sell it, I guess.
Yeah, I think I still have that point and shoot as well, but I had to like dig very deep.
It's somewhere in the basement, right?
Yeah, most likely. But funny enough, the D40 still works. Like the battery is like almost dead. You can take like literally 2 or 3 photos and then it's off. But it still works. Give me any kind of a camera these days and see if it works in 10 years.
Yeah, I'm actually like lucky that my camera is doing well for over a year of use, because usually 1 year of use, it's not even that great. But when was your first assignment then? Because you have been photographing a lot, so basically you photographed all your friends and then suddenly you wanted to take it to the next level.
Yeah, like I always like enjoyed taking photos during concerts.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, the reasoning behind this, the lights were pretty much great, so that's all set for you.
Yeah.
I can listen to music for free live.
Yeah, that's
totally
understandable.
And basically that what drove me. Like I wanted to be better at it. So I started with that Nikon. Then at some point I started upgrading, and till this day still upgrading. But my first paid gig, honestly, I think it was a wedding. To be honest, of all things.
Of course, that's so cliche, actually.
Of suddenly changing and finding out that actually wedding photography is quite a good business. And it still is. Let's be honest.
It's probably the best it's ever been, actually.
I still love wedding photography, but I decided to take a small break from it, like maybe 2-3 years, and I just want to see where esports will take me.
Yeah.
Basically, I decided to go full on esports. Don't do like literally nothing else. Just esports. That's it.
So basically, right now you're just esports, right?
Yeah.
Full-time esports.
Only that, yeah.
So you're literally one of this 1% that might be doing that. Like in whole esports, there aren't many people that actually are full-time. Yeah, it's crazy to think, but that's still the vast majority. A lot of people involved are still not full-time in esports. But you are one of the few ones, and obviously, like the work that we all know you for is the LEC and former ULCS. When did you first start taking photos for Riot then?
My first gig for Riot was actually back in 2014. It was Gamescom.
Mm-hmm.
That was my first ever
2014. Crazy. I was there.
Honestly, a lot of people are telling me, "Yeah, I were there. How didn't we meet there?" No. Yeah, there were like literally thousands of people. I still have a giant print of the Baron statue that's in the studio right now.
Yeah.
But back then it was specially made for that occasion, and the whole like community section was basically a Summoner's Rift.
Yeah, I remember that. It was great.
Was pretty cool. There is a little story, like maybe a private story, but when I got the chance to fly to Cologne to see the venue and to take photos during it. By the way, I was covering the community side of things, not the
esports.
So when I reached the venue the day before, so I got a nice tour where I'd be working with whom and so on.
Yeah.
When I came back to the hotel, obviously very excited. I fell asleep. Then I woke up at roughly 3 or 4 a.m. with a utterly panic attack. I had that only once in my life, and that was then when I just like jumped out of my bed. Like, what the hell am I doing? I'm not gonna do this. I literally started packing, and after 2 or 3 minutes, I was like, dude, first of all, how the hell you're gonna get home? You flew here. So just chill, relax, a couple of deep breaths, and then I went back to bed. It was fine. So to like answer probably one of the questions that's ahead of us, yeah, I do get stressed. Of course I do, because I honestly love the things that I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I try to do it as best as I can. So that means still some amount of stress. Like today, this is my first interview. I'm stressed. Can you tell?
No, actually not. You're doing fine. You seem more stressed when we were just casually chatting.
Thanks.
Is it me?
Yes, it's you.
Oh.
You're stressing me out.
I'm so sorry, boss. So basically, you've been the whole Riot. So, but you didn't actually take photos in Cologne, right? You just joined the esports side when they moved to Berlin, then.
Yeah. After Gamescom, everything went okay. The Riot crew was happy with the photos. Some of them are used still by this day. And after that, I was reached out by Bartosz, one of the Rioters, if I would like to come to Berlin, since they are moving the whole operation to Berlin, to a new studio.
Yeah.
If I would like to try it, why not? Like, opportunity of a lifetime.
Yeah.
So yeah, the one misconception that we had is you'll be doing studio photography. And for me, as a photographer, doing studio photography means lights, backdrops, all of that stuff. So I came prepared really good for studio photography. So I arrived in Berlin. Bartosz gave me a tour of the studio. I was like, yeah, cool. Where's my studio? That's your studio. You're going to be taking photos here. Yeah, fun.
It sounds so bad, but it's actually such a normal thing that happens way too often with a lot of photographers. And to give a little bit of context to people that are not used to that, like, you have two types of photographers: the guys that never use a studio light, only natural light, or the ones that only shoot at studio in studio setups, because you have the control light, you can set up everything you need, and you don't depend on anything that you do not control. So there's a very big difference. So not only you see your passport shots being taken in a studio, but also big photo shoots for magazines or any kind of commercial use. And so the mindset going to this and the preparation going to this is a total different thing, because now what you're going to talk about is how it works, like in the day-to-day in the studio. What were you supposed to do actually?
Honestly, when I tough question.
Like when you came in, what
basically when I came in, I was like, yeah, then show me my studio. No, this is your studio. Bartosz, honestly, I was really thinking about something completely different when you said studio shots. You know, again, lights, backdrops, stuff like that. So yeah, back then I had only one camera, like 2 or 3 lenses with me, because like, when would you need anything else in a studio environment? So yeah. That was kind of scary, but I managed to pull through 2 days after sending the photos for approval. Like, I heard nothing for like a day. It was like, something's not good.
Yeah.
So I waited till the end of the next day, and then I received an email. That's not really the type of photography we're looking for. I'm like, okay, at least I was once, so
yeah.
That experience. But then after like 2 or 3 hours, again I was reached by Riot. Can you come again? And then I had a long talk with Bartosz, what they actually expect. After that talk, I actually did my research. So who's taking photos right now? Who's the esports photographer to follow? So that was that. Then I decided I need to take some notes on teams, players. What's their behavior like on stage? Are they calm? Are they prone to be expressive on stage with their emotions?
Yeah.
So I still have a little book called My Little Black Book.
So convenient.
Yes, and it's black. So I did the research for every single player, watched some VODs, searched for photos of those particular players.
Mm-hmm.
And by that, I judged what actually might happen if a team wins or loses. So that took me literally 3 days and nights. I didn't sleep like probably at all, or just a bit nap, like tiny naps.
Yeah.
But after that, I came back with a completely new mindset, and after that, everything was great. I did receive an email like, GG, good job. That's the kind of photography we want. So
come again next week.
Back next week, and that's been happening till now.
crazy, but so actually it's so funny because when you started, I don't remember like that we had that kind of photography. Like I don't remember having many photographers even, because the only few events that actually had photographers were the ESL ones back in the days, right? Like that's basically it. If they had a photographer on anything else, was like phone photography of early 2010, 2013. So or like if there were actual cameras. But I think the only events that actually had photographers at the time were the ones either by Riot Games in general or like the big ESL events, right?
Exactly.
So which were like, how many photographers were actually working at the time in esports?
Like, I don't want to sound like a grandpa, but back then, when I tried Googling any kind of esports photography, like the 2 or 3 names that were popping up were either Joe Brady. I think I'm not butchering his name if I do.
Joe Brady.
And Helena Christensen. Those were the biggest names. Like their photos were popping, like either it was Joe's or Helena's.
Yeah, Joe I have on Twitter. Someone can find out if you know Helena's Twitter. Then I'll post here for anyone that wants to see later.
Yeah.
Okay. Adele is ready.
Yeah. Thank you, Adele. You're the best. And the third person that actually was showing me like the way, he was kind of my Yoda back then.
Yeah.
It was Bartosz, because he was the guy that was taking photos during the big events that Riot had prior to like 2013, 15, 14, something like that. So he actually showed me what kind of photography they wanted.
Bartosz Białkowski? No, that's a football player. What's his Twitter? So again,
I'm actually gonna
because it's important that people that actually see the work so they understand. So he basically became your mentor then.
Yeah, you can safely say so.
Yeah, well, that's great actually. That's great. Because the thing is, when I started photography, right? I can actually safely say you are the closest that I have as a mentor in terms of photography, because you are the ones actually looking at my work and saying, hey, I like this one and like this one better. Why? I don't have like many friends that actually take photos, and that's because like my environment is very film based or esports based, right? But feedback is like the one and only thing that you need in terms of to improve as a photographer. What was like the advice that Bartosz gave you early in the days that could make it that you made your style basically today? Like, what was the points that struck you the most and inspired you the most to always chase those?
It can basically go down to 3 words, and you can find it in any kind of event photography. So first, you will capture emotions, then you will capture emotions, and then on top of that, you will capture some more emotions.
Nice.
That's it. That's the golden rule. You just need to find and define yourself by capturing some type of emotions. Like last year, I took a photo of Attila and the coach for, oh my god.
Was it Vitality?
Yamato? No, it wasn't Vitality.
Or you mean Gigliotto, the one from Schalke?
It's like the black and white.
Yeah, I'm looking here already. Where is it?
I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I found it. Yeah, it was with Gigliotto. I'm gonna put it on the show.
Exactly.
So this is the picture, and that's what you describe as the key point, like to esports photography.
Yeah, it's like everyone. When you think about esports, you automatically think about the winning moment, the winning team, the cheerful emotions, everything that comes with it. Either it's just like in the studio in the regular split for League of Legends. So it's like, yeah, we won, whatever. But then on the other side, which no one is honestly looking at, is the losing team, and you can show like some awesome emotions, even if those emotions are not as flashy. But here on this photo, like there's a huge backstory with it. It's like those two guys used to play in the same team. Like Gilberto was the coach of Attila in his previous team.
The team that they made into LCS that was Giants.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's a cool story. Like even if Attila lost, I think it was to Schalke.
Yeah, I think it was the semifinals, right?
Gilberto came to him and
semifinals.
He was very emotional. Obviously, he really wanted to win the game. That's pretty normal. But those are the kinds of photos that I like to show, like the different side, the complete opposite side of all the flashiness that's around.
Yeah. Which can kind of relate to, because when you have an esports event, like for the few ones that are watching here that haven't been to one, usually you'll have like a fan area, lobby. You have like the main venue, which is the stage, and you have a lot of seats, and like you have different light situations, and you either like try to capture the emotions from the fans and viewers, or you have like the players on stage, and so on. And you can describe a bit more from your words with the part of emotions, because you have a lot of either action or like, let's say, calmness in the studio. When you're taking photos of players, you have usually in the game setup, you have a bit more calmer setup. But when you look back and a kill happens and there's a viewer screaming, you have like this action moments. While you capture here like the opposite of the action, which usually happens. What do you think like it's key to get those moments? Like the action ones, I think everybody can imagine too. Like a kill happens, a crazy play happens, and the fan is screaming their hearts out, right? But those moments here, like this photo that has not only a huge backstory, those are the ones that like make everything special. Like, can you tell a little bit, or do you even remember how you took that photo?
Honestly, I do remember like the whole situation. Like I remember that Schalke. I'm gonna go with Schalke that won against Vitality, and they were that was the match for basically the winner will go to
the finals,
summer finals.
Yeah.
Or was it spring finals?
No, it was summer.
Summer finals. And as we all know, Attila is a very, very passionate player, and he's really, really competitive, as you can see on stream or live on stage. So that's one thing. So after Schalke won, they did their, like, I wouldn't say normal routine. So they basically hugged in a circle, did all their cheers, and basically it's all to like fist bump the crowd that wanted to do that, and came back to their seats. In the meantime, like mostly most of the Vitality players already left the stage. Only Attila was there, and I saw that that Attila was still there. He had his head down, and my rule of thumb is like, don't take photos that the people that are on the photos don't want to show. It's like, honestly, showing a crying man, sorry, but that's the whole point, is not really like helping the image of a tough AD carry.
Yeah.
But here you can just see the whole emotion, the whole friendship element of the moment, and just don't see the crying.
I'm so sorry. Apparently, someone's knocking at my door, and I'm gonna let him stay outside. Weird. Okay. Sorry about that.
Don't worry about that. So basically, capturing this moment, as with most of the not very typical shots, is just luck and being aware of what's around you.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna put this outside. Quick 2-minute break. I'm so sorry about this. What the hell? Like, you know, the problem is there's probably nobody standing outside, because I don't know why someone would knock at my door at 10 p.m. But like, this thing is ringing non-stop a few times a day for no reason. Like, I walked already 3 or 4 times to the door, and there was like literally nobody there. So yeah, I'm sorry about that. Go on, my friend.
Basically, I think that's it regarding this photo. It's just basically constantly being aware what's around you.
Like, do you have a relationship with Giliotto and Attila, for example? Like, do you talk with them in the studio sometimes?
Um, Over the years, I've managed to like create some relationships with like pretty much most of the players. Like this year, we have a lot of new faces, so
Yeah.
Hopefully that will happen at some point. But with like the old school veterans, I almost every single time at least come and say hi, ask how they're doing, or how the preparation for this week went. Like pretty normal chit chat.
Yeah.
Basically. But I like saying being friends. I think that's an over exaggeration of it, but there, I think that there is some kind of relationship more than just I'm the photographer and you're the person I'm gonna take photos
of course. Yeah, but I think like this is something that people underrate about the job in a studio environment, where a lot of people come in and go, and like maybe you just say hi, I'm the photographer, and it already makes people feel more comfortable, from my experience.
Sorry to interrupt, but one thing. What really helps me, it's something that we call Riot Media Days.
Of course.
It's basically a couple of days, like week or 2 weeks before the split starts, when we take the proper studio shots.
Yeah.
of all the players, all the teams, all the staff, and that really helps, like getting to know.
Like putting a face on the name, right?
Mm-hmm, exactly.
Yeah, because like you also worked obviously at weddings, so you can talk a little bit more about experience about that. But usually when you have a camera in the hand, people there is either like two type of people: the ones that will love it, the attention, like they will scream your name anytime, come here, take a photo, or just give you the best smile every time you're around. And you have the other type of people that are so uncomfortable in front of a camera, which usually is like 90% of the people around you as a photographer. And what's your experience like in there? Like, do you have like a ritual? Like, do you go and like talk a little bit with the people, or you just go and say hi, say your name, and just go at it, like, and take the job as it usually goes?
Just to clarify, do you mean weddings or esports?
It would work for both, but like I think a more relatable example would be a wedding in this case.
With weddings, like the thing was for me was that I always when the reception started and all of that, when people started dancing, I like went outside, obviously to grab a smoke mostly.
Yeah.
Or just breathe some fresh air. I used to like go up to them, introduce myself. Hi, if you need me, if you have any idea for a photo that you would like to take, I'm here for you. Just wave at me, yell, send smoke signals, whatever kind of communication you want to have, and I will gladly come and take the shot. And with esports, honestly, I have a slightly different approach. I've tend to try and take photos of people when they are not aware that they're being photographed, because then they're the purest expressions, purest emotions. It's not like, oh my God, he's pointing a camera at me. I will like scream or cover my face. Mostly cover my face. That's with the audience. Like I had a couple of players that were like having this kind of a fun with me.
Yeah.
When I came near, they would hide behind the monitor, like turn around. That was just for fun, because still with those players I was actually good friends and still are. So yeah. But mostly, I really try to focus to capture like the purest moment of the outburst of the emotion, or even when the players are like in the middle of the game. They're very focused. You can still take beautiful portraits of the player when he is at the peak of
his performance,
his focus.
Yeah, I understand it. Like, can imagine like a few players are very goofy ones, a few are very shy. Just from interviewing, talking to them backstage, I could name a few ones that would definitely love the camera, and a few that definitely still feel uncomfortable in front of a camera. But like, do you prefer like then taking the close shots or like the wide studio shots when you're jumping in and out the arena?
Yeah, that's the thing. Normally, I'm the only photographer that's in the studio, and my main focus and the thing that I love the most are the close-ups.
Okay, so you're more the portrait kind of guy.
I'm not really the type of guy that likes wide-angle shots. That's when and where we go to like big events, when we have split finals, and MSI was here in Europe. Here there is a second photographer. He's called Wojciech Wanzel, which I highly recommend to follow, because he is just awesome. Like literally, everything I know, I learned from him.
Okay.
And that was back in 2015 when I was given the chance to go to the first ever split finals, which were in Madrid.
Mm-hmm.
And I had no idea about this guy. Like, I literally didn't know him, didn't see his face, nothing. I just saw his photos. It was like, yeah. Mm-hmm. And then we met in Madrid. We basically clicked like good old friends, like we knew each other from like 10 or 20 years back.
Yeah.
And we're friends ever since. So, but again, I digress. Coming back to the whole situations with wide angle versus close-ups. That's the beauty of working with Wojciech. He is a master of wide angles.
Yeah, he's a landscape photographer mostly, right?
Whenever you go to the Flickr gallery and see any kind of wide shots of the arena, that's his work.
Okay.
Literally, I maybe take one or two wide angle shots, and maybe they will make it to Flickr. But honestly, I just suck at it.
I think
nowhere near to that guy.
No, I totally understand you, because one of my good childhood friends here from Germany, we both started basically like interest in photography at the same time, and he became like that total landscape guy that will wake up 4 a.m., just get one sunset shot, sunrise shot, and then come back to the same spot at sunset, just get that one shot, right? I'm the total opposite. I'm gonna take my camera and take photos of people in the street, right? So this is a thing that I totally can relate to, because you look for the passion and emotion portrayed by someone. Like, you don't want to capture the venue, you don't want to capture the people inside. You want to let them express what it feels to be like to be there, rather than let's say put it on a frame. You want to tell the story with them, technically, not tell the story about them, which would be technically the landscape approach to the event scenario.
Like he can literally wait for like half an hour to like get the perfect lights.
Yeah.
At a certain angle, and he will get that shot. Don't get me wrong, he always gets the shot, but that's just amazing.
I totally understand you, because I also cannot do that. Like, I'm way too impatient for that.
Yeah, just like I'm finding a good spot on the venue, like when you can obviously see everything. Like I can wait a minute, maybe two, like click. Oh yeah, that's good enough.
But where did you then practically learn or master photography? Because one of the things that I learned about photography, or read and watched a lot on the internet about, is go to the streets and have fun. Because if you master the streets, you can master anything else. Because if you get like 100 photos a day, you get maybe one good shot a month. Maybe. Like if you have like 10 good photos a year as a street photographer, you're doing great. Like simply because you can't control anything, right? So where did you actually like learn your skills? Was it at the weddings? Was it even maybe at LCS? Or like what would you say was the most important for you as a photographer?
Honestly, like the basics, the complete basics of photography, I learned myself from books, from online courses. So that was honestly the only way to go to learn photography.
Yeah.
I used to be a second photographer for a friend of mine, which was in the business for like 20 years already. So he was kind enough to get me as his young protege. So
yeah,
I've learned also tons from that guy.
I can imagine that. Like,
but basically, right now, if you want to learn photography, it's so much easier. There's so many online classes that you can take. But then there's this one crucial thing. After watching the classes, grab the camera and go outside. Because otherwise you won't learn anything.
I can relate to that. I can agree.
Just go outside and shoot. That's it. Simple as.
Is there any free resource that you personally will recommend or that you watched that you felt like it would be something that you maybe even took something out of that?
Like the one I used to learn on, and again, that was some time ago, was like one of the first online platforms. It was Kelby Media Group. Right now it's called Kelby One. It's basically a place that you can learn from literally the best in the business. I know it sounds like an advertisement slogan, but that's true. Like one of the biggest mentors, and still is for me, is Joe McNally. Like he's basically a portrait photographer, but he's not the studio kind of. He basically does the environmental type of portraits, which I love.
Yeah.
Again, I'm still not really good at it, but I'm trying to get better. It's not like, yeah, you're a photographer, you can take any kind of shots. Technically, yes. But no.
Well, it's not it's like that.
any kind of business. Like I'm an IT specialist by finishing my university.
So you actually studied IT.
Yes.
You never studied photography or anything related to art.
No, never, ever.
Okay.
Honestly, for me, that's waste of time and money. Invest that in online classes or and in gear.
Okay.
That's my take on it. And if you can, ask a friend photographer that you admire to take you under his wings and maybe talk to you, show you some stuff. That's the way to learn right now.
I can agree to that because that's the way basically that I learned. Do you watch any kind of YouTubers like photographers on YouTube or any kind of people on Instagram that you recommend?
Yeah, definitely. The one thing I'm trying to get better at is portrait photography.
Yeah.
But not really the studio kind of portrait, because that's not really something that like tickles me in the right way. But I do like taking the camera and the person that I'm shooting outside. That's gonna sound weird. Take him outside and shoot him. Yeah.
With a camera, preferably.
But basically taking photos of the person outside in a cool location, something like that. So like the one guy I'm following right now, like almost religiously, is Manny Ortiz.
Yeah, right in the chat or in the Skype, so I can.
Is basically this guy. he has really awesome content on his video channel. Like, he can take a very complex photo and show you how to do it, like, step by step.
Yeah, I think I watched a few of his videos. He's the guy that captures like the in-screen of the camera and then shows you how. Yeah,
that's him. Like, let me check something. Like the other one that I'm following is I don't want to get this wrong, but 924 Photography, I think.
924.
They're based in Texas, as I recall. But basically, what I would recommend is just go on Instagram and try looking up different people with hashtags.
Yeah.
924 Photography.
Okay, 94. So check. I'm gonna definitely put those links in the description later. Because like you can never follow enough people that do amazing work. All right. No, I don't know this one. I don't know actually. So see, I learned a new person today. Because like the thing about Instagram and all those people on YouTube is that there are way too many by now. Like there are too many people to follow. So the two that I follow closely are Kai Wong, the guy that does reviews about any kind of camera gear, and Sen Tucker.
Digital Rev.
Yeah, Digital Rev, yeah. Well, amazing. And Sean Tucker, that one photographer also, London, I think, that I also like the work. Anyways, before we actually talk a bit more about your photos and get to know a little bit more of your work, I think the most people are most excited to know, how do you actually become an esports photographer? Like, how does this happen? Because for you it was like you were at the right time at the right place.
Yeah, basically that was the thing for me. I was basically in the right time at the right place. Simple as that. And for me, it was easier, again, back then.
Yeah.
Again, sounding like a grandpa.
Well, in esports years, that's a lot.
Yeah, 5 years in esports. That's something.
That's quite a bit. Remember, think about that. When you started taking photos for esports events, I was still trying to learn how to coach. Think about that. There was a time before I took the camera myself.
Okay, we are old.
I feel that.
Ola, if you're watching, don't laugh.
Or we'll find you.
But yeah, honestly, my biggest recommendation right now, how to become an esports photographer. First of all, create a portfolio. It doesn't have to be like typical esport. Go to events, because basically no. Go to events, build your portfolio on that. With my portfolio, I had tons of events, like literally people drinking champagne, stuff like that, concert photography. I've tried not to show my wedding work with that, because that was something completely different for me.
Yeah.
But build on that. Go to events, like esport events. I know you cannot go on stage, but trust me, you still can get really good photos if you just ask someone that has any kind of power during that event. Like, for example, I was at a CSGO event in Gdynia that was last year. I don't know. It was a very, very small event, very small arena. I just reached out to the guys that were taking care of like the stage managers, basically. And I asked if I actually can walk like on the show floor, or do I have to take photos like from the viewer perspective? At the beginning, they were like, yeah, not really. But then I just persisted. And remember, persist, but kindly. Don't be an ass. Never. Because that won't get you anywhere. And at some point, they were like, yeah, okay, but just don't go on stage. For the love of God, don't go on stage. You can run around, but for the love of God, don't go on stage.
Oh,
so
boy.
Yeah, and I still managed to get a couple of decent shots. CS:GO is a completely uncharted territory for me. I literally done maybe one event. I think so, maybe.
But you never went to Katowice or something like that.
That's also something that I want to explore in the future.
What is your to-go gear? What camera do you use? What is your lens you take on your everyday LEC day?
Like right now, I've managed to upgrade to Sony A9s, two of them. So that's like the camera-wise. The lenses, like the must-haves, honestly, are 24-70 and 70-200. That's like the standard in esports. Again, some people would go with like the 16-35 because they prefer like the wider angle. I don't. That's just my take on it. 24 for me is wide enough. But yeah, that's basically my setup. Like two A9s and 24-70 and 70-200, 2.8, both of them. Like the one thing that people that there is a big misconception. Like there's always like the huge amount of light in arenas, on stage, and so on. Nope, that's that's a huge mistake. Really, sometimes I use like prime lenses just to get anything with decent picture quality. Because like the only light source is from the monitors. That's what I saw in Gdynia in that CS:GO event. Like literally the only light on the players' faces was the light from the monitor.
Which is
that you can actually take decent photos was when a flash grenade went off.
Oh God!
Turned white.
Well, I mean, you can take a couple of good shots then, but then that's all.
Yeah.
And then you hope you can handle the ISO in post.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
Oh God, that's horrible. I just remember where was it? Was it in Madrid? No. I think it was Copenhagen, where I was running around taking photos, and all they had as lights were the stage ones, and like briefly at the exits, and like everything else was just dark. Like.
Yeah.
I think I was already at 3200 ISO, and it was not near enough. But if I went to 6400, like it would have been much better. Well, this was like the worst situation I've been actually in an esports event. It's even worse than concerts at times.
Yeah, through my left arm.
We're gonna talk about that picture later.
See a photo, and we'll come back
in a few seconds.
The settings on that photo is actually quite insane. But
you remember them, or they're still here, like in Flickr? We're probably gonna be able to see.
There should be still, but I remember.
Yeah. So all right. So let's talk a bit about your work, because I think we are all familiar with your work. Let's jump actually to the photo you are talking about. It's the samurai
exactly
one. So according to Flickr, you used an 1DX Mark II, 70-200 2.8, and you went for 20,000 ISO. Wow.
Yeah. 25,000, I think. Or was it 20?
Yeah, here's 20,000, which is insane
20.
actually.
But still, that's being brought up in post like almost one stop.
Oh.
So yeah, the conception when people think that stages are perfectly lit. Nope.
No. Like concerts are better. Like at least the
Oh yeah.
stage looks good. Like
Oh yeah.
it makes like most often. If it's not like a small venue, it should be easier. But esports, only the players are well lit.
Mm-hmm.
So
Even sometimes that's a big issue.
yeah. So did you prepare this photo? Was this like, or you were briefed at least that this is gonna happen, or what's the story behind this photo?
Basically, I was told that Romain and Lothar will be appearing on stage, but the moment that they faced each other was basically staged by them.
Okay.
So
Okay.
again, that was being at the right moment at the right spot.
Ah, boy. Because like I remember this moment because like I wasn't too far away from you at the spot, but like remembering like this was so epic for so everyone has a context, like nobody was expecting any kind of this, like this was fairly new to the production level, like this was a new idea that Riot had to finally bring esports to the stage on a different level. Like we had amazing broadcasting to this point, but the stage play was fairly low key. Like they didn't do much, and this was the first time they introduced like people actually entering the stage. It was in Hamburg, I think, right?
Yeah,
The one.
exactly.
So
I remember this photo from for one more reason. I remember that it reached like the main page of Reddit with the header of NA has this, and I think it was one of the casters singing.
it was Marx singing probably.
Yeah. And underneath EU has this.
Oh yeah, that's insane actually.
So that was a proud moment for me.
That was a quality banter moment.
Yes.
Yeah. So we have the better photographers apparently, according to the Reddit community.
We have more dedicated teams, I think.
Probably. Well,
like without Romain and Lothar, this photo would never happen. That was basically their idea of showing like the team mascots,
yeah.
if you will. Basically the concept of having a team mascot or anyone more recognizable with the team brand.
Which is insane because like in EU it's now every final.
Yeah. That's really, really awesome. And again, with Roma, you can like the sky is the limit with this guy.
Yeah.
He will think of the craziest stuff to do.
Don't hype us too much because Rotterdam will have to live up to that this year. Then, well, yeah. I mean, he's a smart guy. He will think about something new.
Oh yeah.
All right.
He will.
All right. Let's see. We like. Can you see on the stream or wait? I can actually copy the photos I'm showing up right now. We are. I think this is Cap's dad, right?
No. This is Cap's dad.
So what's the story behind this photo for you? Because like by now we all know who Cap's dad is, obviously, but like this is a summer finals in 2017.
Like for me, being a father as well, like seeing the motivation for this guy to travel with his son, like even during Worlds, he went to all the stops.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much sure he paid for all of that himself. If I'm wrong, and someone please correct me, but honestly, still don't care. He took the effort, took the time to support his son. That's just amazing. And on the side note, this guy is just amazing. I know he looks like the typical dad, but he's far from being a typical dad. Believe me.
Yeah.
He may look older, but he's like 22, spirit-wise.
Yeah, I think it's crazy because like we often take for granted that actually parents go to the stage and watch, because a lot of people, even though they support their kids doing esports, most of them can't. Like I think what did told this many times last year, and why playing in Korea was a huge deal for him last World Championship, literally because of that.
Yeah.
So this is great actually. I think this is a great shot because it was maybe the first time we had him on like in front of a camera technically. Or do you remember him being already at?
He was in the
Other
studio
split.
before, so I knew him from there.
Yeah.
When Caps was playing for Fnatic, the first split, like week 1 or 2, I think his dad came to the studio.
All right.
I might be mistaken, but I really think so.
Yeah, maybe Adele can remember. Because I don't, unfortunately. All right.
He was there from the beginning.
Yeah. Oh, let's talk about one of my favorite shots. And about this one shot, we have actually a question before you dive into this story, because the question is related to that. Ulla actually asked the question if there was any preparation, and if so, how much and how did you do it?
Again, at big events, we have 2 photographers, me and Wojciech.
Yeah.
I think you can actually see Wojciech.
Wait, I'm gonna.
Photo. I'm pretty much sure you can. Let me check again.
I'm seeing. No, this is not Wojciech here. Here. Yeah, you can see behind Hilly Sung.
He's behind Hilly. He's behind Hilly Sang. You can see the camera, the Sony camera. And that's Wojciech behind. Yeah, exactly. That's him. So normally when we get the information how the whole trophy ceremony will
Look like?
will be played, will be shown.
Yeah.
So that's really, without that information, again, not doable.
Yeah.
Most likely. So basically, we decided that he will try and do something new, something that we didn't do before. So take the shot from behind the player, showing the enormity of the venue.
Yeah.
And I will take the more standard shot, like from the very edge of the stage and looking upwards, since we introduced this new type of element of going into the arena among the fans, then lifting the trophy. Yeah.
So did you talk with Reckless before to do that, or did you know it would be Reckless?
No, that's the point. We don't know who will win.
No. I mean, like, in case Fnatic would win, you don't know, like, no. Hey, this. No. All right, so you just guessed and everything worked out as planned, basically.
Again, that's just being aware of what's happening.
Yeah. And because
and you need some luck. Let's be honest. Sure.
I mean, like, nobody took the best shots with a tiny bit of luck, right? Because you have thousands of the same shot, right? So I can understand that, but because like it's funny because you think this was like being there, it seemed not like planned, but looking at this photo personally, it looks actually if it was like prepare your Reckless. If you guys win, go into that exact spot and hold the trophy like that, because if you look at the lines, it's perfectly centered. To be fair, like it's funny enough, but it happened. I think someone is send the shots. Look at the screen right now, because I think Alex was saying then this for your shot, but this could be the one Wojciech took.
That's actually Kirill.
Kirill is that? Okay.
I have no idea how to pronounce his last name, so Kirill, if you're watching, I'm really sorry. But no, that was in Madrid summer finals last year.
Yeah. which is also an amazing shot. But okay, unfortunately not Michals. All right.
To be really honest, Kirill was so not happy with that shot that
Really?
just amazed us. Like, nah, I don't really like it. Like, dude, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's great. You feel in the moment, in the heat of the moment, which is rare for those kind of moments.
Yeah, and we work as a team, so our main goal is to show the complete story from every angle possible. So for example, I took this shot front.
Yeah.
Kirill took one side, and Wojciech did like a super wide angle. Of
the whole arena.
Yeah, exactly.
And like,
but that's just teamwork.
I'm gonna explain a little bit, because this is actually, again, it's the same reason why your shot's so great. It feels so natural, and it's because it's like perfectly framed again. Mm-hmm. Like the line feels like you are there standing and just looking at the trophy. Like it seems so easy and so natural because it's almost perfectly done, or perfectly done in a sense. And those shots are, as Michal said, like not prepared, and those happen by intuition. And I think you can tell about all the stories that you missed it by, like, let's say 1 millisecond. You missed that one shot, or the settings were off for some reason. But those shots happen once in a year, basically, if you're lucky, that you hit like exactly perfect. But you also showed us a few other, like, you sent me a few other shots here. I'm gonna keep sending to you. This one's from MSI. I don't even remember which
and this
game this was.
Honestly, was just pure luck. I was going from our backstage room on stage, and I was just walking by basically behind the stage. We have two areas for two teams. And I just saw that first of all, I heard that something is going on stage. The crowd was getting wild, and I have no idea when in game that happened, but I saw the tension in that room, so I decided to stay for just a moment, and then they exploded. That was basically the RNG team, I think.
That's their coach Hard.
And I had no idea what happened in game. I don't know, Uzi scored a pentakill or Quadra.
Maybe it was also the winning moment. I don't know. I don't remember anymore.
I'm pretty sure that this wasn't a winning moment because we took photos of the winning moment after that. So maybe Baron.
Something important.
Something. But basically, the play mattered. But honestly, that was just luck. Again, being at the right spot at the right time.
But that's interesting that you mentioned, because you sensed it, right? And this is a thing a lot of people tend to forget to talk about when it comes to event photography, or in general, like photography. You have to sense the right place and the right time, right? You, as often if you do it more often, you start to get like a feeling when it's gonna be the moment you're gonna get the shot, or where to look at the shot, right? Can you explain a little bit how you understand, or like, let's say, train the feeling?
First of all, it's going to be very basic, but what helped me, especially with League and the esports photography for League of Legends, is basically getting to know the game. Because when I first arrived, I had no clue what the game was all about. I knew that League of Legends was a thing, that, some colorful figurines were running around the map. That was my basic understanding of the game. I never played it myself. That was it. After week 1, I did my research, as I said previously. That helped. And after week 2, I decided that I need to know the game, at least on a very basic level. Because I was putting my faith in what I hear from the casters. And normally when casters are getting loud, the situation is already happening. So I'm not really in the right place.
Yeah.
And actually getting to know the game, I'm no expert by any means, as Ula can probably, she's gonna flame me at some point.
He'll read it in the YouTube comments when she's watching the VOD.
Pretty sure she will bash me. Okay. So getting the knowledge of the game helped a lot. Like we have this huge screen in the studio, which is real time. So whatever is happening on the screen actually is happening on the screens of the players.
Yeah.
So that's really, really helpful. And like being able to predict what could happen. Like, I don't know if a jungler from one team is gonna like gank, I don't know, top or bot. So then I know that I should either be near the bot lane of the team that's gonna be ganked, or stay with the jungler. That's obviously a gut call. That depends how good the jungler is and how good the lane that he's gonna gank is.
Yeah. I'm also using that to show other pictures that you took from RNG from the same tournament, which result to the same only. You got here one of Cars being happy probably about a kill or objective they took.
Yeah, that was the moment they had that awesome fight when Uzi just went berserk.
Yeah. Yeah, I can.
It was around Baron, I think. Somewhere there, but basically that was the last team fight, and after that they won the whole tournament after that fight.
Yeah. All right, so and then we see them hugging it out. It's actually it's actually very impressive because like you have all those moments here. I'm showing the two winning shots as well of Uzi holding a trophy and then kindly embracing it, putting his blessings on the trophy. Yeah. Those are like the shots that we probably most seen after that event, because they were like the iconics. Like again, the story background of the picture.
The thing that we talked about in the beginning, like again, this shot has a story behind it.
Yeah.
Because Uzi, the awesome player he is, he literally won nothing.
To this point, he only had his first, almost.
We're not talking about the split winner or anything, but internationally wise.
Yeah, it was his first. Yeah,
that he won, and that was something big, like huge for him.
Yeah. For context, for people that don't know the story, he played 2 World Finals and lost both to the Korean overlords at the time. One was a trio sweep in 2013 against SKT1, and the other was Samsung White in 2014 in Korea. And he also didn't have a regional title, which was a big deal. He was known as the best AD carry in the world after another Chinese AD carry, and for years to come, like he couldn't win one title until like 2018, literally. And that's why this moment was huge.
So again, here it was just again a gut call. I knew, I could feel it that he would either hug the trophy, do something with it, because he wanted to win so bad.
Yeah. Like we can even see like
the
teammates
typical
crying.
shot, the typical trophy lift. That's it. What's more important for me in this photo is basically Karsa.
Crying right there.
From happiness.
Yeah. Like what I like is like him actually looking at Uzi. Like he's looking at him and they're all feeling it. They're so mean at him. Yeah, it's like it's impressive because like these 2 shots they tell probably more stories than 90% of the shots taken at this tournament because of the background.
Probably.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to think that way. All right, what do we have more here? We have a few more interesting ones. First, let us talk about caps and baby caps. You posted it on your Twitter. By far, this is one of the best moments I've ever captured in the studio. The support from your family is priceless. We already seen a shot of his dad. I don't think we have to talk much about like seeing his baby sister coming along, watching him play. Probably she knows anything about League of Legends already.
I think she's gonna like swap caps in a couple of years. So.
Yeah. Like when Caps is becoming a coach because he's tired of playing, he will coach her probably.
Oh yeah.
We already see that coming. So Baby Faker will have a new meaning.
Yeah. That's true.
All right. Well, here this is great. Reckless. That like we've seen a billion of Reckless crying shots over the years, but you chose this one for a reason. It was from the MSI in 2018 in Paris. Yeah. What can you tell us about this one?
Why I chose this particular one? I have a much better one, but I promise that I will never ever show it publicly. So sorry. I'm such a tease, I know.
Wow.
But I promised Reckless that I would never, ever. But the one thing I pretty love about Reckless is that he can be really like emotional, but in a very pure way. If that makes any kind of sense. He doesn't run from the stage. Like he doesn't maybe hide it.
Yeah.
Just like when you see someone like this, he wasn't even crying. I think he was just devastated that they lost.
Yeah. So close again, right?
He was so looking forward to playing in the MSI finals and actually lifting the trophy because they were doing so good. And you know, when your dreams get crushed, happens. Yeah. But I just like the pure moment of the shot. That's it.
Yeah, I can understand. It's powerful. It's simple but powerful. That's I think what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
So somebody in our Discord chat chose this one. I don't think you saw it, but which is funny because I have one of you taking this photo actually. But what's you can tell like the story behind it.
Well, that was after the regional qualifier, so a small 3-day tournament that decides the third seed for Worlds. And basically G2 obviously won because they're the team that's on stage. They were interviewed by Shocks.
Yeah.
And that was the last show of the year, the last live stream from the studio. And Quickshot and Shocks decided to like invite the people from the audience to join them on stage and just wave goodbye for the year. Because after that we had Worlds, which were obviously not in Europe, but finally this year. Happy about that.
Yeah. Yeah, but this was even more special because it was officially the last ULCS broadcast, right?
I don't think people knew back then yet.
No. It was already confirmed by this time.
From the time perspective, yeah, that's literally I think that's the last frame from the last ULCS broadcast. So that could be kind of a historical shot. yeah. I mean, it was the last officially ULCS, and everybody knew it was going to be franchised and rebranded, but nobody knew into what at this time already. But we knew it's gonna all change. I think like this picture actually embraced the vibe that was in the studio that day a lot.
If FollowX is still in the chat, we can actually see him there.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Alex, we see you. So this was amazing. It was a very interesting day, to be honest. So I think it was the Dunkling that sent us this photo. It was our duo Medivedi taking a photo with a fan.
Oh yeah. Basically, the duo of Medivedi is one of the best things that ever came to EU.
Yeah.
Like honestly, it's like the last week they did their intro. Oh crap!
In case nobody watched, they did the Macarena Medividios edition. It was amazing. Yeah. All right, going to the next one. Oh, this one's good.
Great.
Wait, I'm sending you here the link.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's from Amazing.
Yeah. A little nuance with this photo. It's actually the photo was not taken during any matches. It was before the show, before even the audience was in the building. Just Amazing was walking around doing his thinking, I guess. And I kind of met him. We talked for a bit. Then I let him be so he can focus on his things. And obviously, I decided to follow him a bit. The little stalker I am. So he just sat down, very focused, as you can see, and just went for the shot. But that's, again, before anyone was in the audience. Like, he had the time for himself to think, meditate, to focus.
Feel the stage, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing, actually. Oh, when we talk about another emotional shot, we have this one from Broxa, also from Paris. Like, we have two more from Paris here. Yeah, this one we already talked about. Yeah. Fortunately, sent you the wrong one. But you can see. Yeah, should be corrected now.
Like, let's go back to the Broxa one.
Yeah.
Why I like this photo, because Broxa has kind of this persona of being the big tough guy.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but obviously he has a very strong psyche, so he doesn't get like very emotional when it comes to the bad things. He doesn't crack on stage.
Yeah. So
that was, I think, a very rare moment for him when he actually showed like,
he cracked. Like.
Yeah. That's why I really like this photo. Because again, coming back to like the very beginning of our talk, for me, esports photography is just capturing moments and emotions, and then some more emotions and more. That's it for me. Capturing moments and emotions.
It's what tells the stories, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And that's what we can say about the last one we have here. We have one more here. But the last one from Paris, at least. Again, Reckless, now walking off stage. Which probably was a follow-up to the one you took earlier.
Again, creating a story. Like, first seeing him on stage the way he was, and then managed to capture the moment when he's going off stage. Again, as you can see, he is definitely not crying, not anything like that, but he is just probably broken after the loss.
Yeah, which is one of the genuinest moments you're gonna see him, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's amazing. And the last one's from All Stars 2016.
Oh yeah.
I guess some of your favorite ones. We not only have Goofy Yankus, we also have wait, tandem Bjergsen Faker.
Yeah.
We have, wait, who's that?
Mata winning against
What is Mata?
Faker 1v1s.
Oh, Mata 1v1s. Okay, and then Uzi, Rek Uzi, or how Uzi-less, or what we call this tandem.
Was the Rec Squad, something like that?
Yeah,
They
Rek
had
Squad.
fun names for the tandem mode. Like honestly, if someone would ask what was the best event that you were taking photos, it would hands down be All Stars. Like that was the event of my life.
Yeah.
By far.
For the amount of talent that was there, or like any specific other reason?
Like the amount of talent is a big bonus, but back then it had a lot of fun modes.
Okay. See.
Basically, the pros could really be
themselves. Yeah.
Show their goofy side. Like there were some obvious games that mattered, but not in a way that, oh no, if we lose then something will happen. No, it was still a really fun event, like seeing Faker smiling, laughing with our EU export to NA. Boo.
The one and only Bjergsen.
Bjergsen, like two gods of mid lane, like playing on one screen. That's something that probably will not happen very fast or ever. Like two gods of ADC. And the Mata photo was again pure outburst of what the hell have I done? Like in 2016, Faker, and probably still, is considered the god of League of Legends. Like whatever you throw at him, he will conquer it. And back then, like winning with Faker 1v1, that was something.
Yeah, no, of course. It was like even more in the context that those were the two reigning champions, right?
Mm-hmm, exactly.
Like we hadn't seen a third if we count Fnatic and Taipei Assassins, like it was the start of the Korean dominance, and SKT just won like their second. Their third. No, it was their third.
Oh yeah,
it was their third title already. And we only seen so far like for 4 years Korean dominance, and it was like Mata versus Faker, who was actually the better god, and so to say. So yeah, this wasn't for the fans. It was like the moment, like compared to maybe Reckless and Uzi, considered two of the best AD carries, obviously, and Bjergsen Faker. So Western Faker with real Faker.
Yeah, Faker and Faker.
Yeah.
And basically, Jankos just went bananas during that event. He was jumping, laughing. That sums up my experience of All Stars. Yeah. That was awesome. Really, I have so many great memories from that event.
Yeah, that's great. Like I think you captured not only them for yourself but also for everyone there. And as we're coming to the end of the interview here, and as always, it was a pleasure talking with you, and even more talking about photography with you. Like if you could summarize like working in esports, like being there from in all the moments, the good, the bad, the ugly, and also like just seeing all those players grow over the years, how would you summarize esports for yourself? Like, can you even describe it?
I can sum it up very, very easily. Best decision of my life.
Yeah.
When it comes to work, okay, let's I I don't want to compare it to getting married or anything like that, but work-wise, that was the best decision of my life, and I'm really, really, really glad that my wife is so supportive of all of this.
That's great.
Without her, it wouldn't happen. When I had some days that I would doubt myself, she would always pick up the pieces of me and put them together and kick my ass and say, "Go and do your thing."
So do you have any shoutouts left before we move on to the LEC discussion with our two experts?
First of all, a big shout out to you, man. Thanks for inviting me, for the opportunity. It was a great talk.
You know, it was an honor for me.
Oh, shucks. A shout out. Oh my God. Anyone who really enjoys the work that I'm doing, I'm really, really happy that I can put a smile on your face. Mostly the Yankos and Recklesses viewers.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Michal, I thank you for taking the time to come and share with us a little bit of your story about your work and give some backstory to some of your favorite shots. I hope we see a little bit more of your face on here or in general, not only your work, and can learn all from your expertise here. So thank you very much for that. To everyone staying in the podcast, I'm gonna go to a short break, and we're gonna set up the other overlay with the other two people, and we see us in a few minutes. Be right back. Hello everybody, here's the Alex from the editing room. I hope you enjoyed the podcast, the Puppets Dojo podcast that is being streamed every Tuesday night at 9:30 p.m. CET. It might also, depending on guest and interview, might be delayed until 10 p.m. But you know, it always on the Tuesday at the twitch.tv/Dr. Puppet, and I can count you there. So I hope you enjoyed the lovely time I spent with Michal talking about esports photography, and hope you learned something too. So make sure to subscribe not only to the channel but also check out the Twitch channel and follow us over there too. There will be a lot of things coming soon or later into this channel, so I hope you enjoy and stick around. We'll see us the next time. In case you missed it, here are the last episodes and also a few interviews I conducted at the LEC in Berlin last week.